it's never ending. I think up to this point, people are still looking for some new plants to enjoy with, and of course, enjoy with other plant friends in the community.
Okay, thank you so much. Miss Irene?
I am so overwhelmed by the warmth and the love of the Filipino plantitas and plantitos. So I feel very, very much welcome here in the Philippines. And I feel that you have a natural love for plants and the diversity of plants. Like last night during dinner, this guy said, hey, eat this pomelo that I have planted, So he has grown that with his own bare hands. So I'm really touched.
Kind of stole my answer there, Irene. Yeah, I was gonna say that you guys are really warm and welcoming. A lot of you guys want to show me your plants. You guys want to show me your native plants. You guys are so proud of what you have here, and that pride is something that's uniquely from the Philippines, and I'm very inspired by it. And I also am grateful that you guys welcome me here into your homes, into your gardens, and into your beautiful country.
Thank you very much for that, for those wonderful answers. And I think I would like to speak for everybody else here. It's people like you who keeps the fire burning, the passion for plants also, because you try to bridge different countries. No, you make the world smaller, more reachable, more attainable, and the transfer of learning and knowledge that you give us through your channels really can help intensify that passion. So, may your tribe increase, mabuhay kayong lahat, at maraming salamat for coming over to the Philippines. Okay, let's start the ball rolling. I told them it's a no-holds-barred question and answer. We just have a few protocols. No asking of how age, civil status, and bank accounts. Unless you want to make a Gcash. Okay? So, I'm gonna pass over. Who would like to ask some questions for them? You can either point out who you would like to ask, or if you want that the three of them would answer your questions. Don't be shy, oy Pilipino. Wag kayong mahiya. Hindi nga kayo nahiyang kumain ng ice cream dyan, no?
Shoot the first question. Okay. I'm Vicky Jimenez. I'm from Davao City. And I represent the House of Hope Foundation for Kids with Cancer. That's our advocacy. And we are partners with Plant Convergence. And by the way, my question, Sean and Irene and Beth, is what do you think is the future of the floriculture industry now that the market is already saturated? And the prices of plants have tremendously gone down, especially, remember those plants that came during pandemic times? Including the Holy Grail. Remember the SS, Spiritus Sancti, which fetched a price of 1 million and more, but it has gone down to how much now? So, how do we keep the business going, aside of course from the new ones that are being introduced? So, thank you.
Alright, so I'm going to take the first answer. So with everything, with every industry, there's a cycle of renewal. So there's always going to be down and up, because without the down, you don't have the up. I don't know any industry or any nation that's always continues to go up. Civilizations rise up and down. So this is just the way that things are. But I have to say though that a lot of plant prices that we know in the past has come down because all plant prices come down. Watch my episode about that. But then we also have to pay attention to the new varieties that are coming into the market. There are a lot of plants now that are more expensive than Spiritus Sancti. They are very, very sought after, and people cannot buy them even with money. For example, the Devil Monstera. So there are new varieties coming out like Monstera unii, which is discovered in Sweden. Everybody wants that. Even if you have money, you may not be able to buy that plant. So there are new plants that are coming in. And in fact, I just vlogged earlier that there's so many plants coming in that I'm so overwhelmed. Anthurium hybrids, variegated alocasias, like philodendron hybrids. There's just a ton of plants. Of course, they may not move as fast as before because there's just so many varieties coming in now. My message is, I do think that we need to slow down. I think we're going too fast. Before we can learn to appreciate the plants that we have or a new variety, something else would have come up and shook the internet. So I would say it's okay to stabilize the market. It's okay for us to just take a breath and compose ourselves. But also, the most important thing is the equilibrium between sellers and collectors. The problem with that, sometimes there's too many sellers and too little collectors. So it is our fundamental duty as growers, as sellers, or as influencers to continuously inspire new growers to come into the market for the right reasons, to grow them for the beauty, to beautify our homes, and also to grow the plant collection sustainably. Start with the cheap plants and then trade them up for more and more expensive plants so that they will feel happy and fulfilled in the collection. But that is just my thought. And
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sean. Yes, Sir
Well,
Bechoy.
well, actually, I get to be asked that question a lot of times. So I've known a lot of sellers here in the Philippines because we are in the same industry. So immediately I would answer like it's really, as what Sean has mentioned earlier, it's really a cycle. Kumbaga kung sa Tagalog ba, lahat ng aangat ay talagang bababa yan because of the law of gravity by itself. So in theory, what I would really like to advise is that try to remember what was the main reason why you started the plans. If it's for business, then of course we have to be very prepared with it. But then for myself, the main reason why I started with loving plants is because of passion. There was a time during the start of the pandemic when we really can't do anything. So I got interested of like spending my time in taking care of plants, growing them, or cultivating them. So, with that reasoning, I think it's. I would like to remind myself that it's not really all about money or all about the cash. Try to look back and remember the main reason why you started with plants. So I think we should always remember the passion deep within ourselves for the love of plants.
Thank you so much, Miss Irene.
I speak more from a consumer point of view because I'm one that is always shopping and buying. I don't sell. And I have to say during COVID, it was a very, very unusual times where people are just stuck at home. And you know, the prices were crazy, the demands were crazy. So I think we've now come to a point where things are normalized. I now think back during the pandemic, thousands, and it's just the sums of money I've paid, which now I look back and I thought, what was I thinking? Oh, I can't tell you, yeah. But so I think we're coming to a point where it's being normalized, and at some point, like you said, we'll reach an equilibrium. And and as a consumer, I just encourage you to just buy whatever that you like, regardless of the trend. Because stuff that's like trending or whatever, you may like it this month, maybe 3 months later you don't love it so much anymore because everybody's got it. Sometimes you're just chasing for it. I remember there was a time where I was looking out for what's the smaller monstera called? Orsigiana aurea, yeah. And I felt so lucky that this guy would sell it to me. Although it was a very high price, I felt like I've won lottery simply because he was willing to sell it to me. Yeah. But now the price is like a fraction of what it was before. So just don't, as a consumer, I would say, don't get too crazy over the first thing that starts trending.
I do have one more last thing to add. Sometimes it's really not about money, but the fact that our homes are already filled with plants. If I buy a plant now, something else has to die at home in its place. So it really is not about the market, people not buying plants or whatever, but we just have so many plants already, and sometimes we even have to throw plants that we have, and it feels bad doing that. So we think twice about buying new plants. So,
And also, in addition to what Irene has mentioned, her point of view is more on the consumer side, and I am more on the selling side. So every time a customer or a client would ask me if will this be a good buy, I would just immediately answer like, my advice to you is that always think if that's what your heart truly wants. So don't think about if it's the trending, if it's the most popular right now, if it's the most expensive. Always think that if you always think that that plant is very beautiful and it captivates your heart, then always go for it. So that later on, even if the price for that plant would shoot down, then there's no
Check the price up.
yeah, walang sisihan. Ano nga yan sa English? Diyos ko, nahihirapan na ako. Walang sisihan. No regrets later on should the price go down.
Okay, thank you very much. Ang dami nating nalaman at natutunan, right? Both from the consumer's point of view, a collector's point of view, and a seller's point of view. Okay, so moving on, who would like to shoot the next question?